Hey there, friends. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between being overwhelmed and overstimulated. What's the difference? And how does that relate to our relationship and renewing our relationships and creating more happiness and peace in our home? Well, when we're overwhelmed, it's like we just get so much piled up that we're going to just drown in it, right? Overstimulated is very similar. Very similar. When we are overstimulated, it overwhelms our body and our nervous system. So, for example, when we have toddlers and they get overstimulated, we send them to take a nap. We send our kids to take a break in the corner, have a 5-minute timeout because they're overstimulated. They're overwhelmed. They don't know how to handle their emotions. This happens to us as adults too. We get overstimulated, especially as a mom. If somebody's there saying, "Mom, Mom, Mom," all the time, you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. You can't do anything by yourself. You hear the phone ringing, you're getting messages on your Apple Watch, whatever it is, there's always something going on. The school is calling, the boss is calling, lunch is calling, and that laundry, oh my goodness, the laundry never stops yelling at you, right? Well, figuratively, because we know laundry doesn't actually talk, but we feel it. And we're overstimulated by, like, if we have crumbs on the floor and we feel the crunch under our feet, and we just have all this stuff piling up, so much to do. And it's overwhelming, but it's also overstimulating. And this just wears us out. It wears us down. This is the reason why people say you need to take time for you, take time to relax. Well, how can you do that when you're overstimulated? And it affects our relationships. When we're so crazy and then somebody comes into the room and we're trying to hold it all together, but we feel that crunch under our feet and like we haven't swept and we haven't done the dishes or whatever it is, we just got too much going on. And then someone comes in and says, "Hey, Mom," or "Hey, honey." And even though they mean it with the love that only family can have, it's still one more thing at you. And so we take a breath and we try to do it in a calm kind of way, right? But what do? If we're a toddler, we take a nap. We have a snack and take a nap. We send our kids to quiet time. We do all these things to help them manage their emotions. And that's what we need to do for us too. We need a nap and a snack. We need a timeout. When our kids go to timeout, we set the timer. So you gotta be there until the timer goes off, right? And if they're in trouble for something, then we set it again. If they leave or they start, I don't know, get their phone out or something before the time is up, before they're done with their timeout, then a lot of times we'll start the time over and say, "Oh, you cheated. You got to start over. You need this much time." And sometimes it's 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, depending on how old they are and how well they can adapt and handle that consequence. So what about us as adults? How much time can you handle? Well, I'm going to say, even if you only can take 3 minutes of your time out, it makes a huge difference to de-stress, relieve that overwhelm, calm the nervous system, get all that overstimulation taken care of. We can say, yeah, okay, well, if I have crunchy under my feet, I need to sweep. If I'm overstimulated because of my environment, I need to change my environment. But that kind of feeds this overwhelmed and feeds the overstimulated in the process. So before you go sweep the floor, before you go do the dishes, have a timeout. Take a nap, have a snack, and just chill for a minute. Close your eyes, pretend it's all gone, and just imagine yourself in a good place. Imagine, where is it that you want to be? What kind of environment do you wish you had? What kind of environment are you going to create when you're done with your timeout? When you're done having this de-escalating of your overstimulated nervous system? just close your eyes and imagine that you're there already. Close your eyes and breathe and just remember to exhale, because that's really important. When we get into this overstimulated, overwhelmed state, we tense up and we hold our breath and we're just really tense. So breathe out as well as deep breaths in. A lot of times we think, oh, I gotta take a deep breath, but you also have to exhale. Okay, that's really, really important and so beneficial. If you are on edge and your spouse comes in and you're like, too much, it's okay. Here's what you're gonna say. It's magical. There's a magic phrase and it works so great. It builds trust. It gives so much to the relationship. When you say, I need to leave the room. I need to take a break. I'm not leaving the relationship. I am not leaving the conversation. I'm just leaving the room for a minute. And then you set the timer, or you say, I'll be back 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however many minutes you need. I'll be back. And then when the timer goes off, you come back. You actually come back like you said you're going to. And so this gives the opportunity for communication to be on such a different level. You can communicate with each other in a way that you trust each other, you state what you need, you get what you need, and you give what the other person needs as well. So you say, I'm going to remind you again, I'm not leaving this conversation, I'm not leaving the relationship, but I need to leave the room for a minute. I'm going to be back. And you tell them when you're coming back, tell them how many minutes you need, and then you say, I really need to de-escalate, to un-overstimulate, whatever kind of word you want to find. When you define what it is you need, then you can address anything. It's filling your cup so you can pour from something that's not empty and drained, and you have somewhere to give from your heart. Your heart is so full and so tender. And when we're overstimulated, this is all we need to do is take a nap and have a snack. And nap doesn't necessarily mean you go to sleep, but it's a change. You take a break and you switch out what you're doing. You go and you take that minute. And it's just, a drop every once in a while. If you have a leaky faucet and you have a drip, 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 if you put a cup underneath it, pretty soon, over time, it's going to be full. And that's the same concept that we're doing here. It doesn't have to be a full-on weekend away retreat. Those are nice, but it doesn't have to be. If you just drip in 5 minutes every once in a while, every day is really good. If you have 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes to yourself, to just drip back in to your cup, so you're not pouring from an empty place, then you can be calm. You can be not overstimulated and not as overwhelmed. All the dishes and everything else, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there because we still eat. We still walk in and out of the house and bring dirt in our shoes. It's gonna be there. There's always more laundry to do. And that's okay. If we just drip a little bit here, drip, 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 and then we're able to take care of it. And we can use the same concept for getting those jobs done too, to change our environment, to support that loving environment. We take 5 minutes a day to do the dishes. We take 5 minutes a day to do whatever kind of chore is calling to us that day. Laundry, I know, I do it. I take a whole day to do laundry, sometimes a whole weekend, because we got a lot of people in our house using a lot of clothes. If I wait, then I have to plan an entire weekend because it piles up. And this is that overwhelm, it just piles up. But if I do a load a day, then it's just kind of smooth going and it's all calm and everybody has something all the time, instead of being like, oh no, we have to do all the laundry right now. We ran out of everything. Just drip it. Drip your 5 minutes of calm, of being in that place that you want to be, Mentally imagine that you're there. Your brain can take you. Your subconscious can assimilate it. Your subconscious doesn't know if it's real or not. We just pretend. And over time, you're going to see a magical difference. And remember that magical phrase, when you do need to de-escalate or take some time for you, even if it's in a heated argument or discussion, I need to leave for a minute. I need to leave the room. I'm not leaving the relationship. I'm not leaving the conversation. I'll be back in a few minutes. And then you set the timer and come right back. All right. Have a great day. You're worth it.